Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a Off the Dome podcast again. We got a little bit of special edition here. We got a guest coming on here. My boy Tate going to be on here. We're going to talk about these playoff games. We got that super wild card weekend for any NFL fans. It's a good time of year. We got playoff football. It's going to be a good showdown. We got a lot of good matchups. A lot of games that could go either way here. A lot of division matchups. You know, this is the third time these teams are going to play each other in these division matchups. So knowing each other makes it even more interesting because these teams have seen each other twice now and kind of this is the third time. There's one matchup, that I'm kind of, we got the 49ers. So Saturday we got 49ers Seahawks. That game to me seems like a heavy favored 49ers team. Everyone's on the Niners. That could be, is that an upset? Or the Seahawks got the juice? We'll find out. We'll talk about that. Jags, Chargers, then after them. This one's really interesting. A lot of people are high on the Jaguars, and most of you know by now, you've been following, you've been watching, you've been listening. I picked the Chargers to get to the Super Bowl. So from the AFC. So that was my big. I went with the Chargers, and I went with the Bucks. So I mean that's where I'm at. That's where we're at right now. It is still possible. My Super Bowl prediction is still possible once the playoffs are starting. Wild card weekend. We're doing it big. All the big games. I mean, this is gonna be a lot of fun. But we'll be having my boy Tate join here any minute. He'll be joining in. We're gonna chop it up about these games, break it down, see what his thoughts are, get some different opinions up in this motherfucker. Let's see what he thinks. What does he have for us? Bills Dolphins. Another division matchup, another fun one. But the only thing with this one is this one seems like the one where we know what's going on right now. There's no Tua, maybe no Teddy, probably no Teddy. Like, we're more than likely getting Skylar Thompson. I mean, that's, what does that mean? Skylar Thompson starting. Could be interesting. So, I mean, that's the kickoff Sunday. Then you got the Vikings-Giants, which that one's interesting to me because the Vikings are skeptical to me, I'm telling you. They're skeptical for me, but the Giants, not too big on the Giants either. If they win, I don't see them getting much farther, to be honest with you. Like, I just don't think they're the one team to me that got there between them and the Seahawks that got there, and you're like, it's because the NFC, they're like, are they really deserving? It's because the NFC is kind of weak. I mean, look at the Bucks getting in. They're getting in, and that's the Monday night game. They're getting in at 8-9, losing record. But then to finish Sunday off, you get the Ravens Bengals, another division matchup, a team that just played each other. That's going to be a good one to me. That's going to be a fun one. Those teams clashing, don't like each other. Roquan Smith's been, he's been John, like, okay, we're coming after these dudes. We're ready. How's that one going to work? Bengals been playing with the chip on their shoulder now. Yeah, they're coming in at the right time. And then we cap things off Monday night. Bucks Cowboys. The team that, it seems like the Cowboys are, after that embarrassing loss to the Commanders, you're kind of wondering now, you're questioning them in the playoffs. A team that has finished with 12 wins, you're kind of like, can they beat the 8-9 Bucks? It's kind of like, damn, I don't know. So a lot of fun matchups, and let's get our boy up in here. Perfect timing. Let's get him up. Issues. All right, we back. Technical difficulties. We got shit going now. Fine. We had to make some changes, make some things, but we gonna get this right. We gonna work it out. We had to do it. So we got Super Wild Card Weekend. A lot of games. First off, how you been? How you doing? Same. We got my boy Tate on here. We go back. We got him on here. Had to get him back on the podcast. It's been a minute, But shit, we've just been doing the same. Out here grinding, getting shit done, trying to keep on keeping on, keeping this thing going.
Definitely, man. Hey, man, I see your hard work you putting in, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, we trying. We got to the 50. We trying to get to 100, and then 150. We just gotta keep on going. The next thing you know, we gonna keep this thing rolling. Try to grow it, get it a little bit better, get it ironed out, smoothed out, get the kinks worked out. Get it eventually. It'd be too easy.
Definitely that, man.
Um, but yeah, we got all these games. We got a lot of games. Unfortunately, our Dirty Birds ain't in there. But what you want to talk about them? You want to get that out of the way? Talk about the future because the future to me is looking bright. I like the future.
I do. It's just we just gotta figure out what quarterback we gonna use, man. Like I don't want us to go back to the Matt Ryan, the mobile. I mean, not mobile, the immobile quarterback. Like I like what Mariota did. You know, he's injury prone. That's a big deal. But I don't see anything. I don't see anything in Desmond Ritter, man. I just those 4 games or the last 3 games, I just didn't see anything I like.
Yeah, you didn't like Ritter, huh? Man, I thought the kid, he's a little. Uh, I like that he's mobile. I like his decision making to me is pretty good. He's not the perfect on the deep balls yet. I don't think, but he's at least aware of. I take the check downs when they're there. Can't force nothing. I like that he can scramble and get out of the pocket, but sometimes I think he's too quick with it. He don't let stuff develop. He'll immediately, if the first read's not there right now, it seems like he's kind of all right. I'm gonna run around and then try to make something happen. I think he does it a little too much, but I don't know. He got the fourth quarter drive, the 2 minute drive came down, won the game. I mean, got the first. He's finally got his first touchdowns in the last game. I I think the core is great. If
No, yeah, definitely. That, our core is great. You know, we didn't have Kyle Pitts, mostly the second half of the season. We didn't have him, so he really didn't have a security blanket. And Drake, I don't know the wide receiver, just Drake London. He's just fumble prone, man. He did the first game when Desmond Ritter took over. He did cause him that win because we was going down there to score, and he ended up fumbling on his game-winning drive. So he did. You know, I don't want to be too tough on him.
he's got
You
the
know, like
hands though, he's got the hands. It's just after he secures it, it's weird for a receiver to have fumbling problems. You know what I mean?
yes,
It's like like how do you have fumbling problems? Usually it's the drops. They can't catch the
yes,
ball. That's butterfingers. This dude can catch about anything when it's in his
man.
radius, which is
Yes,
wild.
definitely. We just need to get him from fumbling because he costs us a lot of games with fumbling.
He just needs they need to have him on the sidelines with the ball in his hand. Just at all times. You know how they used to do that back in the day? Like coach would be like, you fumble it, all right, go grab a football and you hang on to that mug the whole rest of the game.
Yes, man. Yes. Hey, but hey, I don't know with your boy Terrell, man. He had a bad season this year.
He dipped off a little bit. They hyped him up. He shows signs I'll say inconsistency because at times he looked like a number one, a shutdown corner, but then at times there was a play. Was it Mike Evans that got him?
Yeah.
Mike Evans got him a few times. It was like, oh, like I mean, he couldn't even get. He's not the best at jamming. It looks like
Yeah.
he has problems jamming receivers off the line. He's giving them free runs.
He did. Like the first game, he gave up 3 touchdowns to Michael Thomas. Like I'm like, oh man. But he just got to work on being consistent. He is kind of small though.
Yeah, but he's a fighter though. I
Oh,
do. He's
definitely.
one of them corners that ain't afraid to tackle, which I do love those gritty. Usually you got those guys in the slot. You want those guys slot
Yeah.
corners that they'll come up and just bang. But he ain't afraid to tackle. I'll give him that. But he needs to be more physical at the line because that's half the battle. You want to play bump and run man coverage. If you can't jam a guy, you're already losing the battle, especially on the shorter end guys too. You can't give that up.
Definitely can't. He definitely can't give it up. And when you get beat like that, that's yards after catch for the wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. But I think we need another receiver too, which I wouldn't mind. I don't know if it's, I don't see it happening, but like DeAndre Hopkins now coming up available, that could be a move. I like that move. I think we just need a solid number one that's not, one of these young guys, especially getting rid of Ridley. I don't even know what he would have been after a suspension. Would he have come? Is he going to come back? Knowing the Falcons, anybody that leaves Atlanta, they go and become superstars. So he'll probably have a Hall of Fame career now with Jacksonville after this year. He'll be the piece they were missing.
Yes, definitely. I just, man, we finally got up under that Matt Ryan and Julio Jones contract. We got draft pick. We got the cap room, man. Other than D-Hop, I don't see any wide receivers. I don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. is he coming out, but I don't see any other wide receivers out of college that's can be a number one.
Yeah, I mean, there's the kid from TCU is like the big one right now.
Yeah.
What's his name? Not Thompson. Quentin Johnson.
Well, yeah, Quentin Johnson, yeah.
Him. I like the dude from Ohio State, because I don't think Marvin Harrison's coming back. That Njobi, the Smith and Njagba, Jackson Smith and Njagba from Ohio State. That dude.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple, him ball out with Marvin Harrison Jr., but I think he's going to come back. So I think this year's kind of dialed down a little bit because we were kind of spoiled with wide receivers in the draft.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
But the last 2 years, they were so wide receiver heavy. But this year's kind of seems like it. I think it's going to be a lot of defense. This is the year Atlanta's probably going to need to. How many times is Atlanta though going to try to go get an edge rusher and it don't work out? Like, I feel like we live in the same nightmare when it comes to getting an edge rusher. It's like we can't. Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, the ultimate one-hit wonder.
Definitely had one good season, like one.
I don't even know how you manage that. I guess now after that they start double teaming them, but I mean, like, damn, dude, how you get 15 and a half and then you can't barely sniff a quarterback? You can't even get close enough to play flag football with a quarterback. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
We gotta get Grady Jarrett some help, man.
And he's frustrated too. He's starting to be vocal with it now. Like, damn, come on now.
Yeah, so like we got the offense. For me, I feel like we have the offensive weapon. We finally got a running back that can consistently get over 80 yards.
Oh.
Cardell Patterson, he's gonna be Cardell Patterson. We just focus on defense this year. Like we seen what we did with a limited offense, with a limited quarterback, and we got over 7 wins.
Yeah. We need a shutdown defense for once. Like, can we just finally have that defense that, we've always had the offense. We need the defense. And I don't care what nobody says. We had Rookie of the Year. We got Rookie of the Year at running back. That Tyler Algier is a beast. Because you want to talk about, I know it's going to go to, it's going to go to old boy from the Jets. It's gonna happen. It could have been. It was between. I think Chris Olave could have had it too, but he kind of slowed down, and I think he had dealt with some injuries. But
true.
But Kenneth Walker, they want to. You want to compare. If you just look at Kenneth Walker, if it was just between those two and Tyler Algier, I'll put Tyler Algier's numbers up against Kenneth Walker all day. He just don't have the touchdowns. But
probably don't have the touchdowns.
But I mean, you look at the situation and it's like, okay. And also, they like to look at one team went to the playoffs, one team didn't, which I don't think that should matter when it comes to Rookie of the Year. But I mean, look at the Jets. I guess they're not, they're not going to the playoffs. But I don't know. It's just that man had a hell of a year, tearing it up. And then they're breaking records, which is kind of weird with the whole breaking records because they added an extra game. So it's like, I mean, you're breaking records that, which we knew this was, when that happened, I was like, okay, records are going to be broke and there ain't really nothing you can do about it. But we can't act like it's some crazy stat line now. You know what I mean? Like, they're playing an extra game. So you got to factor that in. But I don't know. I think that man is at least deserving to be talked about. If we're talking about Brock Purdy, we got to at least be talking about Algier because he's been there all year.
Oh, yeah, man. And he just, man, I didn't know, like, I'm glad, Cardell, when he went hurt, man, it showed we had some backup at backup running back, and he just took over the spot, the number one spot.
Mm-hmm. And I think most Atlanta fans didn't know. Like I at least me, I didn't know about this kid. Like I didn't know he had this in him. But that dude's got he's got dog in him. I mean, he's got dog. He ain't afraid of nobody. He hits the hole and he's looking around. Where's my guy? Who am I hitting right now? Because somebody's got it. Somebody's got to catch this fade right now. Somebody's catching it.
Somebody, yeah. And to me, I don't know if you're paying attention, but I think these two are better than Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman.
Oh, in with Patterson and him. Oh, Patterson. It's just a matter of how long can Patterson do this? Because if he could stay with it, because that combo was nasty, but it fizzled out so quick, and obviously with Freeman getting hurt, that kind of changed his course of his career. But they were also so different, and that's what made them special between those two. And that's kind of the same thing here, but in a different way. But Algiers kind of that one cut and gone, and Patterson's that do it all back, which I think Algier can become that.
He can, but I like the combos. Like I understand, like, you know, that one back get all the carries and all that. Nah, I like to split them carries, keep y'all fresh, keep y'all healthy, and just dominate. That's why I'm like, for me, I feel like if we can put all our eggs and go get Lamar Jackson.
Oh man,
we could.
Oh man, and he fits our offense. It wouldn't be, you know, with what Arthur Smith wants to do. You know, a former offensive lineman, I love when that motherfucker just lines up and just run. No, if it ain't broke, we're not changing it. Just run the fucking ball. And I know the league has changed, and you got to be able to pass the ball, which, okay, that's true. But, I mean, when you can just line up and just go pound the rock and have 8-minute drives that go 15 plays. The only problem is Atlanta had so many issues where they would do that and then kick field goals. It's like, okay, you have to at least score.
You gotta get that 7. You gotta get the 7.
Because if you can do that and eat up that much clock, like say you're playing the Chiefs, it ain't gonna matter if Mahomes don't get on the field. That was always the case with Brady. How do you beat Brady and Manning and all these guys? You just keep them off the fucking field. That's all you got to do.
And if we can do that, man, we good. And you know, looking back at all our games, our defense really wasn't that bad. Yeah, we gave up a lot of yards, but we only gave up 30 points like twice this season. And all our games, other than the Bengals game, was close games.
Oh yeah, we were in these games. You flip a coin on some of these games, we had wins.
Yes.
You look at Washington. The Steelers game. I mean, very winnable games where we had that skid where we went from first to last real quick because of those close games. We just couldn't put teams away, and I think a lot of it was we're kicking field goals, not scoring touchdowns, and that's kind of been our MO. Even with Matt Ryan, we had issues with that in the red zone. Red zone was always an issue.
I don't know why we just had issues scoring in the red zone. Like if it wasn't a deep pass or a long run, we're not scoring. It's just settle for field goals.
Yeah, that's not how you win games, and it don't matter what you can do offensively, what your team has. If you can't get in the end zone, you ain't beating nobody. I mean, maybe if you're playing third string games against the Dolphins and Jets game, and you don't have to score touchdowns, you win by kicking field goals, maybe. But you ain't playing good teams at the end of the season like that. So
definitely going to playoff like that, not scoring a touchdown.
Nah, it ain't happening. Which leads right into playoff games. We got the Super Wild Card weekend. A lot of fun matchups. I'm disappointed. The one matchup I am disappointed in is because injuries. Is the Dolphins. You know, they got in, and now you kind of like, damn, we're not even at full strength. I hate to see games where they're not full strength. You want to see the best teams, best players on the field, but you know, I think it's good that Tua's not playing. That man is, you know, especially after what happened to Damar Hamlin, we don't need to see something else. I think Tua's going down that mark with almost like Andrew Luck. How many more times is he going to take hits? And it's like, oh man, but. Other than that, I think every matchup is pretty damn good. I mean, I guess we'll start, just Saturday, 49ers Seahawks. That's the first game.
Ooh, that's a divisional game too. I know we're in the playoff, but that is the divisional game. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna take the 49ers on this one.
Yeah, it's hard not to. I mean, they're coming in winning 10 straight games. Even with if you can win games, and it's like, is it the system that's winning, or is Brock Purdy? And I almost think Brock Purdy. This might sound crazy to me, and let me know what you think, because I feel like Brock Purdy is the next, could be the next. I'll say could be, not is. Could be the next Tom Brady. In the sense of the guy that no one knew, no one heard of, comes out of nowhere. I mean, literally the last pick in the draft, and I don't know. I watch him play, and some of the he's not just like your typical backup quarterback that comes in and dinks and dunk. This kid is running around making shit happen, and I know he's in a very, very QB friendly system, but with a lot of weapons. But man, that dude's balling out, especially that. Go ahead.
I was say, yeah, he is, and I hate that. Oh, it's a system quarterback. It doesn't matter. They build the system around Shanahan. Built the system for a quarterback like Purdy to thrive in, and that's what he's doing. He's taking an opportunity, and it's not like he's not playing any tough opponents. He's playing tough opponents. He's basically doing what he needs to do to win, and not putting his team into losing situation, and he's throwing the rock. It ain't like he dunking and diving or anything. He's tossing the ball. He's running for the extra yards, fighting. If he keep, like you said, for me, if Kyle Shanahan can keep him healthy, keep that team together, he could be another Tom Brady. Or that can be another franchise dynasty right there, the 49ers, if they can keep everybody healthy.
That's just always kind of been their issue, right? It's like was it last year? Their defense was just so banged up they couldn't really get nowhere, and then, they come into this season, Jimmy G, we're not going with him, and then Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance might be losing his job. I mean, to be honest with you, Trey Lance, he's out for the season. Jimmy G comes in, looks good. He's Jimmy G. We already knew what he was beforehand. He gets injured, and then Brock Purdy comes in, and I mean, I would say that it's such a. It would be a QB friendly system, and it would just be the system if it wasn't for that Raiders game. Because if that was just a regular backup quarterback that's coming in, he's not keeping up. Eventually he's going to taper off. That system's not going to last that whole time, because that defense caved and gave up so many points, and he kept going with them. He's like, let's go. Let's bang. Well, I mean, I ain't afraid. Let's go.
Oh, definitely. And on top of that, it's like, I think it was amazing when they got Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, that was just cherry.
That was cherry on top, man. I'm glad we beat them before they put the super team together. I'm glad Atlanta beat them before this happened. But it's all about momentum going to the playoffs, and right now they got the most momentum in the NFC right now.
Oh, easily, hands down. And now they're the team that nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to even, no one wants that matchup, because that's tough. Especially the NFC, I'll say, is a lot weaker in regards, if you look at the AFC. AFC's so stacked to me, other than, now the Dolphins. I mean, a lot of them teams, even the Ravens. Even the Ravens without Lamar is scary just because of that defense.
True, yeah, the Ravens always had a defense. They always relied on their defense.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, to me, it's just, and this kid's been doing it since college. You go back. I was looking at 7 fourth quarter comebacks in college. It's like, you're doing stuff like that. I mean, that's not just. I mean, his debut, he came in. He was 18 for 23, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns against Oklahoma State. I know, Big 12 never has defense in college, but still, you come in your debut game doing stuff like that, and then if you're doing all that in college, it's not just a fluke to keep doing it. I know a lot of guys can have college careers that don't align in NFL, but I don't know. This kid to me seems special, and I think the 49ers. I agree with you. I think they take this one. I think Seahawks are the one team that just kind of doesn't really even belong in the playoffs. They're so inconsistent. They're one-dimensional on offense. They have to have that running game. And Geno's good when he's good. And then when he's not, it's like, oh, it's ugly.
Okay, it's like everything got to fall in place for Gino. Like if anything is out of order one time, it goes down from there.
Mm-hmm. Well, then we got Jags Chargers. This one seems like it's gonna be, it's the 4 or 5 seed and going at it, and it feels like the 4 or 5 seeds going at it. They feel like this one could be close, and the Chargers are my Super Bowl team, so I'm just gonna say it now. I gotta take the Chargers. I had picked them at the beginning of the year. Both teams that I picked made it. I picked the Chargers and I picked the Bucks. So both teams of mine made it to the dance. Not very convincingly, but they made it to the dance. But
Man. I got the Chargers, man. Like I just don't trust Trevor Lawrence. You know, I don't.
even with he's kind of turned it around, but I will agree with you on that because of the some of the throws he's made. When he misses, it is bad. I mean, it's not even close. When he's on, he's on. Don't get me wrong, but when he misses, it's like that one game, the last week against the Titans. What was that dude that was just wide open in the end zone? He's throwing in the first row of the fucking stands. I'm like, what?
Man, it's bad. And like I don't want to take nothing away from him, but the division they in is bad. So it's not like
Mm-hmm.
he deserved to win it. Y'all division was just bad. So once again, just like the AFC South, first team to a certain amount of wins was going to take it.
Yeah, and it looked like Tennessee was going to run away with that too. What were they, 7-3, and then just proceeded to lose? Did they lose out?
Yeah, they lost out last week.
Yeah, so they go 7-3 just to lose out and finish what, 7-9?
Yep.
Oh, and they even rested the week before us. Why don't I mean I know they didn't matter because of the division rankings or whatever. That's what it was going off of in the AFC South. But NFC South, AFC South, somebody has to get a ticket, I guess. It's
somebody got to get a ticket.
and to me, I think the Jags. It's a close game. It's just, are we going to see that same Jags defense? I mean, the Jaguars showed a lot of grit. They had been relying on offense and the defense was kind of struggling. But I think to me the Chargers, if Mike Williams is, which I haven't heard an update on Mike Williams. I know he left with the back injury, but if they can get Mike Williams healthy, I think the Chargers are kind of getting healthy at the right time. And if they can just, I think to me they can score more points than what Jacksonville can. I think it's going to be harder for Jacksonville to get points.
It's definitely going to be hard for them to get points. And then finally, the Chargers finally can get healthy now. Because they've been without their team for a while this season.
Mm-hmm. And it's been like that. It seems like that's the case every year. Every year we say, man, it's the Chargers. It's the Chargers. Here we go. And then they get hurt. Something doesn't line up. Something goes down. They lose the wrong pieces. But, I mean, now they're kind of rolling at the right time as long as, I'll have to see on Mike Williams. Even without Mike Williams, I think, they got Austin Eckler. I love Austin Eckler. He's the guy that nobody talks about other than for fantasy reasons. But he's low key, like he's that guy. It's just no one talks about him.
He really does it all, man. Like he's so underrated.
Which is wild to keep saying he's underrated too.
Yes, he definitely needs his respect now.
I think they can get it. They get a good run here. They're gonna be talking about him after that.
Oh, definitely, man.
But Bills Dolphins. All right, we got Bills Dolphins. We kind of talked about this one. Without Tua, to me, this just seems almost impossible. You want to talk about David versus Goliath? This is a step up from that. I mean, no Tua. It was going to be hard with Tua. Dolphins coming in. They're playing behind, a good reason. They got DeMar Hamlin behind them. It just feels like, everything's going the right way for the Bills right now. 7 straight wins, and then Miami's just kind of limping into the dance now, and then now no Tua, no Teddy. They're going with Skylar Thompson by no choice. So, I mean, it just...
Man, listen, even with Tua fully healthy, the Bills was going to win this game.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
Yeah, it's like they don't have the defense to stop Josh Allen. They just don't. And there's so many straight routes Tyreek Hill and Waddle can run before you catch on and you stop that. Like you force Tua to throw, he's not even accurate. So you put him under duress. You force turnovers. What game it was when he had his last three drives was interceptions. It's like, and we can blame the injuries, the head injuries. He's fighting through that, but even even with that, he's just inconsistent, and he's just relying heavily on throwing it deep to Tyreek Hill.
I'll say that, but also the underneath. Like he can get away with just giving those guys the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like on the screens and all that. I mean, it works to a degree, but it's not like how it is in Kansas City where they can still do that, but Mahomes can just pinpoint drop it anywhere. And I'll say
yeah,
Tua has his moments where he does shine and he looks great, and makes some great throws, but you get more and more down the field it does get a little bit rocky, a little bit inconsistent, and a little it's not up to standards, especially when it comes to playoff teams. I would agree that it would be a lot closer of a game, and I think the Dolphins would have a chance, but I would still rock with the Bills had they had Tua. But now without Tua, it's you might as well just simulate the week. If this was Madden, they're just simulating the week and starting to go ahead and do the off season moves. I mean,
they do. They just playing for extra paycheck, man. They playing with any Buffalo Bills to buy.
mm,
It's about to be a waste of time, man.
yeah. I mean, I'd be surprised if it was nothing else. So I got Bills as well. Uh, Vikings Giants. That's the second game on Sunday. This one to me, I don't know how you feel about the Vikings. I don't know how you feel about the Giants either. To me, I'm not buying too much into the Giants, but the Vikings, I can't get behind the Vikings. I can't get behind Kirk Cousins. That dude to me, I just something about the Vikings is just off. I don't know what it is. I've been saying it. I know people are probably tired of hearing me say it, but I'll say it. And when they lose to the Giants, I'll stop saying it. But these dudes are not that good. The record does not reflect what they're putting out.
Man, listen to me. G-Men all day with the upset.
Yes.
The G-Men, listen, you don't know what Kirk Cousins you're going to get. Or you going to get the Kirk Cousins in the first half of the Colts game, or you going to get the Kirk Cousins in the second half of the Colts game. Like, which Kirk Cousins you going to get?
And to me, what you said about what you were saying earlier about Geno, I think this is the definition of Kirk. If something starts going awry, this man crumbles. I mean, if you go back and look at what the game against Green Bay, they took away his number one weapon, and they like to pass. They like to do a little running. They almost remind me of Atlanta when Atlanta would run the ball. We had Kyle Shanahan. They would do it. They do the same things. They want to run the ball a little bit, but really they want to just set up that pass game. And when you take away Justin Jefferson, it's done for. Ain't nothing there. He can't. I mean, he can't do nothing. That defense gives up so many yards. So it's like they're like the new age of. We already did this in Atlanta, and when we went on our Super Bowl run, we already did this. We didn't have a defense, and we should have won. But to me, they ain't got it like that. Kirk is not. He just ain't the guy.
Man, listen, if you got a great, you didn't even have a great coach. If you got a good corner that can keep up with Jefferson, you good. That's all you need. That is all you need. And you take away that, they ain't got nothing else.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know who the Giants. Even if they don't have the guy to stop Justin Jefferson, they just gotta slow him down because the Giants give up a lot of rushing yards. What do they give up? 144 rushing yards a game. But the Vikings are like second. They're at least bottom five. I want to say they're second to last in running per game, and it's because they pass the ball the whole time. The only hope for me for the Vikings is if Justin Jefferson's going to have to go off. The receiving corps, they're going to have one of a perfect game because the Giants don't have the best defense, but the Giants don't give up the ball either. If they can just ground and pound, give it to Saquon, take care of the ball, and do their thing, they'll be all right. They just keep them off the field. Let Kirk get behind, make them pass. If they somehow Giants get turnovers, it's over. It's over. It's going to be just like that Green Bay game, I think.
It is. And I don't care who a big come back because they came back from the coach. No, that is not the same.
This is playoffs.
Yeah, the Giants can run the ball.
We're talking about playoff teams. Every team here is here for a reason, except for the Bucks and maybe somebody in the Jags. Somebody had to get in, but they still got in. They still got in. No, I'm just playing. But so we got this Sunday night. To me, this is gonna be an exciting one. I think even without Lamar, I think Huntley's gonna be getting the go for the Ravens. Which what's going on with Lamar? What's going on with the Lamar and the Ravens?
Lamar playing is smart. I wouldn't come back anyway because the same thing happened with RG3 in the playoffs. When he got hurt, ruined his whole career. If I was Lamar, I'd look at them. I'm not doing that. Especially I'm not even under. I got a 1-year contract or my contract about to expire, and you don't want to pay me. I'm not about to risk that. Either you gonna pay me or you gonna trade me. That's what I do. I'm at that point with it. Like trade me or pay me, because you're not gonna win the playoff game without me.
That's true. I had not even thought about RG3. Then when you said that, that is true. I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't either. Now that you say that, I think to me they kind of been fucking around on him anyways by not paying him. You look at Deshaun Watson with all the shit going on. He's getting all this money, guaranteed money. You can't pay a dude that you built your whole system around this guy. So what are you going to do? Acting like you're not going to pay him. I would sit there and call that bluff all day. What are you going to run this system with Tyler Huntley? Go ahead, by all means. You've seen what is no shade to Tyler Huntley, but go ahead. He's not me. That's if I was Lamar, I'd be saying the same thing. And I don't buy the bluff on the Ravens acting like whatever they're stalling out for. The one thing they could say is, well, they're going to probably say is injuries. I'm sure that's getting brought up. Well, now you're getting injured a lot, and we can't pay a guy that's getting injured a lot. Blah blah blah. But I mean, that's the system you're running. I mean, you want him to do all this, and if I was Lamar, I'd come back and say, well, give me some damn fucking receivers, and I wouldn't run the ball all the time. You keep giving me nobodies, I'm have to give him to Mark Andrews every time, because I don't know. I don't think they have a chance in hell against Cincinnati. I'm taking the Bengals, but
I got the Bengals too. Even if Lamar was playing, I still had the Bengals winning this. He just doesn't have any wide receivers. All you gotta do is double team the tight end. Even though he's a good tight end, but you take away Mark Andrews, and then who you gonna be throwing it to?
Yeah, I think that's just been the same problem with the Ravens. They can't, give this dude a legit number one receiver and see what he can do. You can't say go win games but don't throw it to nobody. Like, I love Mark Andrews. I think he's a top 5 tight end all day, but he can't be the only guy. That's like Mahomes. If I keep going to Kansas City because they're like the benchmark, right? But so you go to Kansas City and you go to. If Mahomes had just Travis Kelce, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder. Now, Mahomes makes a lot of guys. He has that ability where he makes guys look good. But, they take away Tyreek, and he's like, But, I mean, still, Mark Andrews, if you're just with him, if you give him another weapon, that offense could take a whole nother – they would go up a whole nother tier in my eyes. Because I think Lamar's great. I think he misses some throws sometimes, but it's just – it is what it is. He's still a great quarterback. I mean, you're not going to find too much better out there.
You're not. And to me, and looking at it, he won the MVP with no wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing it to nobody. So, you just give him one name. Just give him one name. I think they should go after. That'd be a nice pickup for them if they can go after D-Hop. That'd be a nice addition.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. They need a guy like that. That would be a smart move. They keep him, and I don't know if they could get it done, with the draft picks. I know they just paid, and it's almost a slap in the face. They just paid Roquan Smith the $100 million deal, which is kind of.
Why would I play? You just paid this man $100 million.
And no shade to him, but
he ain't winning you no championship.
I mean, he's great. I love Roquan. I think adding him to the defense was amazing. But, I mean, that's just a slap in the face. You really just gave this dude $100 million, and he just got to the team. What do you mean? I've been here doing my thing for how long, and now the dude you just traded for got mid-season is that's your guy? You gonna give him $100 million just like that, huh? Damn.
Bro, that's just the Raiders about to mess up their whole franchise because they want to be selfish.
And it'd have to be a whole rebuild because, like I said, they built their whole team around this dude. I mean, their whole team, their whole game plan is behind Lamar Jackson running that ball. They run an offense that really nobody else does. So I don't know if they don't get this deal done with him, they're crazy. I think the Bengals in this game take it. Yeah, I think it'll be a close, tough divisional game. Ravens will be fired up. Roquan's been talking. These guys they'll be out there. But I think the offense it's going to be too much offense for the Bengals, and the Ravens defense is going to gas out and not going to be able to keep it close, and it fizzles away in the end. Kind of opens up for the Bengals.
Definitely that.
Last one here. We got the Bucks Cowboys. I won't keep you too much longer, but we'll do Bucks Cowboys last game Monday night. We get the final game here. How about them Cowboys? They look like I don't know what that was against the Commanders. Is that a sign? You think that's a sign of what we're going to get against Tampa Bay? Because if that's the case, I don't feel confident picking the Cowboys. But if they're going to play like that against the Yucks, come on, man.
Listen to me, man. Listen to me. The Dallas could have been the number 1 seed. They were gonna find a way to lose. This is it right here. They're going home.
Oh.
Monday. They're going home Monday. Tom Brady is undefeated against the Cowboys. I think he's like 30-something and 0. Like he haven't lost to the Cowboys. He is going. Dak going home, and Dak will lose his job.
Well, somebody, Jerry ain't gonna let that slide. If they lose this, because he'll hear it from the other owners. Man, what the hell he'll hear it from everybody, and somebody's losing their job. Whether I don't know if it'll be Dak, they'll put it on McCarthy, they'll put it on somebody get losing that job after that. But I don't know, something. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm still gonna take the Cowboys. I think what happened against Washington was they kind of just didn't care. They weren't cared about seeding. They kind of went into it, oh, yeah, we'll just fucking whatever, fuck around. I think that was an eye-opening ass whooping they took, and I think they come out fired up. And I don't know, I still don't buy what the Bucs been doing all year to finally just kind of get it clicking in the last 2 games, and then you pulled the starters out against Atlanta, and we kind of whooped on the backups. But I don't know, something about how they've been playing all year just scares me. Even though it's the Cowboys, I can't believe I'm saying I'm picking the Cowboys, but fuck, I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys. And if they burn me, I'll never pick these sorry motherfuckers again.
They about to burn you. Take it back right now. Dak gonna let you down. Dak gonna throw an interception. Dak been throwing interceptions for the past 7-8 weeks.
That's true. That's true, and they get playing a respectable defense in Tampa Bay, but I don't know. Like I said, if Cowboys lose this thing, somebody's paying the piper on this one. Oh shit, that's bad.
He's getting paid. Like all that money he's getting paid, and he can't do anything. Like they don't have any identity. Like you paid Dak all this money. He can't. He's inconsistent. He's a turnover machine. But then you got Ezekiel Elliott that you pay all this money to.
Yeah.
So,
and
you gonna run the ball or you gonna pass the ball? So you're trying to make somebody. You're trying to make 2 people happy where somebody can't be happy.
And now they look dumb for getting rid of Amari Cooper because of the season he had. If you had kept him, I'm all about running the ball and having running backs, but I think paying running backs, that shit's dead. I mean, you give them one good contract, and I hate to say it for running backs out there, but it's like kids growing up now playing football, don't be a running back. Be something else. You know what I mean? Because it's like that position is dying. It's already where they want to split guys and I think that's a smart move is to keep these guys healthy. So you split them up. You can't have a bell cow back anymore. And Ezekiel Elliott's his body's where it's look at what happened to Todd Gurley. Look, I mean, there's so many examples. Steven Jackson towards the end of his career, it's like, all these guys that have these problems, you can't have a bell cow back anymore. And paying a running back is kind of insane anymore. So once Dallas did that, I knew they were in trouble. But then for Dak to have all this talk about, the contract dispute that he had and to perform like this, if they don't come out and win, oh, man, that's embarrassing.
And you might as well get ready. Like, my dad a Cowboy fan. I told him just get ready, to lose. Like it's every year. It's y'all season. Y'all going to Super Bowl. Y'all gonna make some noise, and y'all lose the first game.
And they're playing great too. I'll say their record reflects. They playing great. Like they have a great record. It's like it's our season. It's our season. I don't know. I might be a fool, but I'm taking Cowboys in this one against the Bucs. And the Bucs get the home too, which is wild to say, but they get the home field. So I don't know if that benefits them. It certainly doesn't hurt them, I guess. But oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna go Cowboys. Real quick, I guess. Derek Carr. I'm kind of curious. I'm wondering where you think Derek Carr should go. If you're Derek Carr, where are you trying to go?
Me personally, about Derek Carr, I looking at the future, I'm getting out the AFC. And I'm going somewhere in the NFC. And I'm going, if Tom Brady don't leave Tampa Bay, I'm going to Tampa. If Daniel don't sign with the Giants, I'm going to the Giants.
Okay.
But I'm getting out the AFC because I can't compete with Mahomes, and Mahomes got a system. Can't compete with him. Josh Allen I can't compete with. What's his name? The quarterback for the Chargers.
Herbert, yeah.
He's coming up. Like the AFC are building dynasties over there. And I'm like, he's like 26, 27? I got to find a home. And the best way to do it is go to the NFC. When the NFC, everybody's rebuilding the NFC, other than like a few teams.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of questionable teams. And teams, you got two teams in the Giants and the Seahawks that got in the playoffs that I don't think they even thought they were going to be there. But, 7 teams had to get in, so somebody was getting in. I think there was a lot of teams like that in the NFC where, like, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get in. And then they surprisingly got in just because there's so many weak teams in the NFC compared to the AFC. But I like that, actually. I like the Tampa Bay deal. If Brady doesn't move on, if he does move on, rather, I would totally go to Tampa Bay because you're going right into a system that's already, pieces there, and that gives you the best shot. If you stay in the AFC, I heard this floated out, and I didn't think of this, and it didn't make, at first I was like, what? But now that I kind of I was looking at the roster, I like the Jets. If you stay in the AFC, you go to the Jets, they're looking for a quarterback, I think. I don't think they they trust Zach Wilson. You have a hell of a defense, and Robert Saleh is going to have a good defense, but they have that hell of a defense. And they had a lot of injuries. That Breece Hall, the running back they drafted, to him and, if they keep James Robinson, which they didn't really utilize him, but they got a lot of younger running backs too. And a lot of their offensive linemen was banged up. They think if they can just fix their offensive linemen, get that healthy, I think the Jets would actually be a smart move, especially the receivers they got now. I mean, to me, that would be interesting. And I've heard Atlanta, but I don't know about Atlanta.
We don't like if our team are smart, they just need to hire me and you to run front office. I don't even want the money. You can put that somewhere else. Just let me and you run the front office, and we'll build this franchise up and win some Super Bowls. Like, get away from, like, you see us not have a mobile quarterback when we had Matt Ryan, and we only had one good year. Like just move on.
It's time. It's time. I mean, Matty Ice did his thing, but it's time. I like Ritter. I don't think there's any quarterbacks that we're gonna get. Like we were talking about before, we're not gonna be able to get up to any of those spots. I think the good ones are gonna be gone.
Yes. Yeah.
The Bears talking about they're gonna move on from Justin Fields. That's to me smoke screens. There ain't no way they're not taking Will Anderson from Alabama. Like they're just blowing smoke, seeing what kind of trades they can get. They're keeping Justin Fields, and they'd be stupid to get rid of Justin Fields. I would take him too. If they act like he can't throw, but that you give that dude some time, he'll be all right.
Listen, I take Justin Fields. Yeah, he'll fit our offense perfectly.
Oh yeah.
We don't need no deep throws, and that's what like this year when I was looking at it, we really didn't have that many big plays down the field. We just eat up yards and we eat up plays and we eat up clock. That's all we need.
Mm-hmm. Play that way. I like the style that we play. I like having, I guess it's having an offensive lineman as your head coach. He just wants to run the fucking ball. I'm down with it. I'm down with it. We can, the league can be a passing league. We can run the ball and pass when we need to. Shit, if that's what's gonna win us games, sign me up, coach. Sign me up.
I'm with it all day.
Oh shit. Well, I won't keep it. I won't take any more of your time, man. I appreciate you coming on, doing this with me. A lot of fun, as always. You're more than welcome to be on whenever.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You have a good one now, and I will be talking in the future.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, later, bro.
Later, bro.
Always fun. Always fun. We're gonna wrap things up there. We got a lot of good stuff that we knocked out there. That was a good time. Boy Tate on there. We did our thing. That was whew, a lot of good stuff there. A lot of interesting points. Did not think about Derek Carr, Tampa Bay taking over for Tom Brady. Could be interesting. We'll see what happens, but a lot of fun. Super Wild Card Weekend. A lot of good games. A lot of interesting matchups. Gonna be a good fucking time. You don't want to miss it. Obviously, NFL fans gonna be watching this closely. These games. As always, love y'all. Peace.